everyone, you're home with Playnext, who bring everything that is awesome, and I do mean awesome in gaming. This is Blake, the visual novel. We're looking into narrative a little bit more. So I wanted to go through this and kind of take a look at what makes it different than adventure. Because there's a lot of crossover. Blake felt the cold air on his face as he opened his eyes. So I'm picking actions out. Step back from the ledge. You woke up. What a weird dream. It felt so real. I must have slept so heavily I didn't even hear my alarm. Blake was seldom tardy for work, or any other occasion for that matter. No time for his morning peanut butter on toast. My goodness, Blake is a daredevil. He couldn't be late. He was still considered new at ICC. Only days away from completing probation, he had to make a good impression. Better get going. Life can often be unpredictable, and this was particularly true for Blake. I'm gonna call him that through the whole thing. I'm just gonna ignore the L. Random happenings had a way of following him like a stubborn pebble wedged into the sole of the shoe. No amount of picking would dislodge it, and it was accompanied by a certain amount of discomfort with every step. Every step, friend. He would never admit it, but sometimes he may have even consciously trod on the stone. We're doing the negative impact of the je ne sais quoi of existence. There's this really weird twist in social interaction, and you run into it as you start to read more and more stuff online, where you'll hear people actually counsel you to say, like, you will have negative thoughts, make sure that you do filter those out and things like that. On a daily basis, Blake's colleagues at ICC would bicker over the best immersive gaming experience of the year, brag about their newest techie purchases, and speculate on what would happen to who would meet their demise on the popular weekly e-screen installment. Blake's played it. Max's eyes suddenly popped up from beneath the top of the computer screen. Don't you think the offline co-op mode AI in Futures is totally thin? That's interesting. It's like wine. Max leaned towards Blake's direction with a hand walling her mouth and forcibly whispered, "Back me up, Blake." Rolo spurted out an intentionally inelegant laugh. We don't usually use in and in together. Definitely always have an outside pair of eyes copy proof, I think it's called, your stuff. Haha, Vin. What are you? Are you from another planet? What does Vin mean? It means ridiculous. Anyways, he doesn't give two hoots about futures, you big nerd. You can talk, you're the only one here who owns a whole VR room. Best time you get to use it, though. There they go again. Hi, Blake. Not her. Please not her. Swiveled in a chair. How's it going, Harry? Her was a masterpiece, best admired from afar. She was one of those beautiful paintings that could speak 1,000 words without saying anything. These are just best at work. Seriously, though, she could try not saying anything sometimes. Did you have a good weekend? Fingers spiraled in her hair as she tilted her head in curiosity. Yeah, somebody did locational well. But like I said, I always have another pair of eyes reading it. Didn't do much, just the usual. You? Why did he even ask? Went on a road trip with my girlies to the forest. We ate marshes on the fire. Saw a unicorn. My friend said I wouldn't see one out there. Wow. If every sentence she spoke was written, Blake imagined they would always end in exclamation points. Heard a noise in the middle of the night and zipped my tent. I swear I saw a unicorn galloping through the trees. Do we openly discuss LSD trips at work, or did I miss the meeting? Did she seriously think that unicorns exist? It was probably a cow or a stag or something, just not a unicorn. Speaking in code? What's going on? Harry's skin flushed a color similar to Max's hair. Oh, you're right. We should come along with us next time. Oh, he gets an invite, that's nice. Hanging out with her for a whole weekend would be a tough feat. Maybe we're worth it. As long as you stop being a freak. Sure. We'll stay true neutral. I'd like to be the evilest thing on the face of the planet. I have scoured manuals and game manuals for how to do this. When I hit upon something that even frightens my Russian fiancé, I stay true neutral. The middle of the bingo board is I. A giggle sang from Harry as she headed back to her female colleagues with a small skip in her step, eager to tell them about the conversation. So this isn't water cooler, this is Blake's desk cooler. Slender figure hovered beside Blake's desk. It was a junior texpert-ly. ICC snapped him up before he could throw his graduation hat in the air. No one knew Lee's forename. Most people in the office didn't know it was his surname. Blake noticed. Interesting. Email address started with S. Lee, not the standard first name surname. Lee was like a ball of plasma that dissipated nervous energy. Okay, so we can't have balls of plasma? We're not on a spaceship. Aside from that, I understand what you're saying. His vision floated from one thing to another, mostly managing to avoid making eye contact. It was as though he was preoccupied with taking everything in. Anxious head twitches. His voice was friendly, though. Most of the time he was elusive, hardly ever spotted. Maybe noticed. Hey, Blake. Lee held a smile. His eyes scoured over Blake's desk space. Mr. Gardine would like to see you in his office. Yeah, of course. Oh, wow. So you have some, okay, interesting things about the game so far. You have some really negative options, and I've noticed that about visual novels, where if people are genuinely doing like mental health, the negative themes involved thereof, etc., then they will tend to choose visual novels, and you can obviously see why. Hello there, Mr. O'Gartley. How's things? Going well, I hope. Ryan was Chief Operating Officer at ICC. Whenever Blake saw her, she was rushing around on urgent business to be in her position with one of, if not the world's leading tech firm. She had to be tough, working there for a while. He hadn't talked to her much. Brief pleasantries weren't on first name terms yet. Told Mr. Gordine wants to see me about something. He should be back any minute. It's always fun. Kind of embarrassing. I've been meaning to have a get to know. I've just been so busy then for 2 months. Gave an encouraging and gentle smile for someone with so many plates to spin. She had a defying, calm, and welcoming aura. So they're pairing deliberately intelligent speech together with a translation program of some sort, or a translator of some kind, who obviously wants to use those like really specific terms that aren't bridging culture. So I understand that they're saying that it defies her personality to have this calm aura, but it seems like really focused on the dichotomy there, whereas in America we would never do that. Jonathan, see you're here already. Take a seat. Will you be joining us? I'm a busy bee today, mustache. Blake will catch up soon. Left those papers you asked for on your desk. She chuckles. Thank you, Rye. Barely visible wave from her hand, creasing as she rushed out the door. Jonathan settles down into the overpriced real leather ergonomic I'm the founder of successful corporation chair. All of his energy turned to Blake. So Blake, come in to see me. Regular occurrence for many meetings. Some fine work you carried out on the promenade case. Daily stats on your spreadsheet, they don't correspond. Aside from that minor alteration. So he's looking for, it's like very forward facing, it's hard to explain. I want to say the culture is Asian, just off the drop. Between the focus on chi and the forward-facing nature that we actually explicate in American business, we will say things like moving forward. They apparently just integrate that into the conjugation of their speech and speech patterns. Got a screenshot, paper, slid it towards him. Paper used to be made from trees, a little known fact. Now they only manufacture by 3D printing and synthetic material. Interesting, so they're more vellum style. Belt dryer made him notice his clammy palms. Made of good stuff. Study the figures. Looks like a couple equations have gotten out of sync. It'll be a quick fix. After analyzing the data, he set the paper down on the table. His grip left behind creased remnants. Good. No problem. It's not why I asked you here. I know you haven't been at the company very long. Start to get a stress headache. Smile and nod. You're doing well. I hope you realize that. I have an exceedingly crucial project coming up. He gives it to a junior. That's interesting. Annual well-being test deadline is today. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you do. So you get a side quest off the drop, and then you get offered this other project. Next, nor lower, deepen conversation. So you're moving from screen to screen, and then you have the characters pop up. This is starting to be a more common occurrence to have the front screen characters. You see it in Russian RPGs and JRPGs. Do you remember Eric the droid guard who used to bounce the reception? Yeah, I do actually. What happened to him? Did they keep him in a big bag in the room behind the front desk? Really? Yeah, he was sacked. Oh man, I fell for that one. I wonder what actually happened to him though. Be the well-being test. Oh, okay, cool. And then you can go through and actually... Information is not anonymous. We got the meeting invite. Sign Hari's. Write a message. Don't write a name to Hari. Happy birthday, Blake. Oh, Blake. Hold on. Your message has been added. Okay, and then I enter. So a little control confusion there. And then it looks like this is going to be, you are always great. The following fears which you relate to the most. Struggling to pay bills, failure at my job. That's a risky, you kind of had to have an opinion there. I don't know, trajectory on this. You can see a scale above people's heads that measured one part of their status. What would you want to know about them? Your honesty, how often would you say your days differentiate enough for you to distinguish within a week? Majority of days are different. Doing just fine. Keep up the good work. They'll tell you that even if they're going to fire you the literal next second. Kilvier is a good person. That's true. I pay accepted all the money made for publicity. So they're debating video games, which is really cool. You're at this awesome tech company. You get to explore around. You can deviate conversations, which is a new narrative tactic. Generally, they use avoid, which it's awesome that you actually get to interactively steer a little bit more. So, as far as what's different for adventure, it is technically a visual novel. I'm glad they labeled it that way. I think it's the white space that makes it that way. In general, a narrative will be put central to the screen, and there will be interactive points on the screen if it's an adventure game. So this is definitely a visual novel, but really interesting, especially if you're following along at all with, if you're interested in game mechanics and that sort of thing. Obviously, we bring the best in gaming to the table. So you're going to run into it over and over again, especially as you figure out what it is that you like. But it's also something we talk about. I have a Reddit, a subreddit I just opened up, and a couple other places that you can chat with us. It's all down in the description below, as is the game. So if you're going to play along, definitely do. Also known as Gamer Grind. Gamer Coffee shipped to your door. You can get your logo put on the back of merch. For nothing bucks. It's awesome. KOF5, buy this chick with coffee, $1 make me smile. We are on Patreon if you want to support us there. So if you like our work with the indie community, especially, we helped launch Bethesda way back when it was an indie and literally never stopped. Worked with We Are Bots. We've worked with a whole lot of people. I have a whole CB up on my main page, which I don't really direct people to very often, etc. But it's all in there. So mostly what we're looking is to bring you guys here a good gaming experience. So smash subscribe. If you hit the bell, what that does is pop a thumbnail up, and then you just take a look at it and see if it's your sort of thing. If you want to follow along with the blockbusters and see what makes, big gaming successful, awesome. If you want to see what indie gaming has to bring to the table to eventually become successful, obviously I know what that is. So I like to highlight it here. If you're looking for a critique of your game, definitely send it over. Every once in a while, we won't have time to air something, but by and large, we do get to it. Right now, we're looking into working on narrative. Obviously, that's a big focus on the channel. Hi, Chris. How's it going? This is my new partner. It's awesome. But yeah, biggest thing is smash the subscribe button and hit the bell so you can kind of take your pick on whether or not that's something you want to tune in for. Stay safe. Game on. And we will see you next video.